All right, topics today: Deadpool movie, Borderlands movie, Randy Pitchford's Meltdown, Bungie implosion, and we're going to discuss a little bit about Deadlock, I guess. And if there's anything else that you want to add in there, like that Intel stuff or the Hi-Fi Rush Studio, any of that, we'll get to that as well. So, um, we're already talking about predecessor, not predecessor. What's the new game called? Deadlock. Deadlock compared to predecessor, Paragon, that kind of thing. So you said you like predecessor?
Yes.
How much have you played predecessor?
So how much have I played it?
Yeah.
I played it for almost like a month.
Okay. All right. So you played it for a pretty good bit, and you said you liked Paragon. Was Paragon ever out on console?
You say? Cause you cut now.
I said you said you played Paragon. Did you did you play that
Oh
on
yeah, yeah,
console?
yeah. Play on console.
I didn't know it released on console.
Yep, on PlayStation.
Was it just on PlayStation?
That I don't know.
I'll look it up in another window real quick. Let's see. Paragon. Paragon release date. Who made that? Wasn't it Epic? Yep, Epic Games on Unreal Engine 4 MOBA.
Yep.
It doesn't say what it released on. What consoles it released on? Oh, yes, it does. Oh, no, it doesn't. Why doesn't it say? Normally PlayStation and Microsoft Windows. Okay, so it didn't release on Xbox, but it released on Microsoft. Okay, so Deadlock. I'm not crazy, right? That game looks like trash.
Well, Deadlock.
Yeah. Oh,
No, I can't
I'm
hear you.
lagging. Yeah. Hello. There we go. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm lagging or if the mic's cutting out. But yeah, Deadlock. It looks bad, right? I'm not crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it right now. This it looks like it was made. What was the thing where people could make games for free on it? I forgot what it was called.
Oh God. Um, that's such an
It was
insult.
like just a cheaply made fan made game.
What was that thing
Am I
called?
wrong, bro? Am I wrong?
It was called Project something.
It
Project
was like a
Winter? Darwin
I
Project,
can't remember
maybe.
what it was. It just looks like a cheaply made fan game.
It does look bad. And the thing is Valve hasn't released other than like the update to Counter-Strike, which I think the only reason that they did that was because Valorant existed. They haven't actually made a game since what Back for Blood, which flopped, and then like the last game before that was like forever ago. They've been working on this for like 7 years, and it looks half baked.
7 years for this. Oh my god.
I don't know how Valve. I don't know how they like recover from all these bad games they've had. I mean, they own Steam, so they're fine. But like, as far as making games, reputation's kind of hurt just a little
Need
bit,
to
if you
stick
ask
to
me.
the distribution of games.
Yeah, they should stick to the
Stick to the
distribution.
distribution of games. That
That's
part, bravo, you're doing wonderful. But making them, no, that's not your lane, buddy.
right, 1,000%. That game looks rough. Speaking of rough, the movie that gave you a headache. All right, so I'm a Borderlands fan. I love Borderlands. I played the first one like when it came out. I was only like 10 years old. I shouldn't have been playing that game, but I enjoyed it. And you don't play Borderlands. You've never played a Borderlands game ever.
Nope, never.
Okay. So my opinion would be from the opinion of a Borderlands fan. Yours, your opinion would be from the opinion of like just a normie movie watcher, but also kind of likes video games, right? That would closer
Yes.
yeah, that would be closer to what you would consider yourself. So, what did you think about the movie?
Okay, so first off, when it comes to movies, games, and stuff like that, I'm always optimistic. I don't. It has to be truly bad for me to hate the movie. So I was watching the movie, and personally, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't a bad movie to me at all. But I could. It also wasn't like a good movie. It was just like a regular just mid movie that just I could tell wasn't going to be too successful or wouldn't be too bad from my perspective.
Okay, now if you had no connection to video games, you were a normal movie watcher, no connection to video games though, would you go watch that movie?
Yes.
Yes, you would. You would go see it in theaters as like a normie movie person?
Yeah, if I didn't see everything everybody was talking about, and I was just like the person who just likes to go watch movies, I would go see it in the movie.
Okay, all right. Well, see, what I had seen, what everyone was saying was that a normal person wouldn't go see that movie because a movie like that is too weird for a normal audience. So you're saying as a normal audience, you would have seen it regard or you would have seen it without the reviews. Now, if you saw the reviews of it as a normal moviegoer, would you still go see it?
As of, as I said, I usually give movies a chance. As of lately, the movies that have been really bad, I haven't watched like the Thor movie, Love and Thunder. Haven't seen that. Um, what was another one that did the Marvels? Have not watched the Marvels. So, so if I saw the review, I would not.
Okay, so if you saw the reviews that it was a bad movie, you wouldn't have actually done it. Okay. Shut up! The fucking. So I apologize if anyone hears a loud bling sound. For some reason, it tells me my drivers are running out of space. They've been running out of space since I got this thing, and it doesn't matter how empty it is, it just tells me that all the time, and I can't make it go away. So, loud blings, sorry. Okay, so for me, what would you rate it right now?
After I saw it, a solid five. It's just a very mid movie to
A
me.
solid five. Okay. See, my thing is I'm gonna go with three, and I said this before we had talked about even talking about it on the podcast. I told my wife, I said I am going a three, and that's as high as I'm gonna go. But if I was a normal audience person, I would maybe go a five, or I could be convinced it was at least a five. But anything more than that, and you're out of your mind, out of your mind. Because, like I said, I know you don't know about the games and the movies, or sorry, the games and the stories. Tiny Tina is like one of the most beloved characters from that franchise, and this movie did no justice to her because, like, and this is no fault to the actress that played her. I think actually a lot of the actors and actresses were pretty good. I think the weirdest thing for me was the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis knew Kate Blanchett's character as a child, but in reality, they're only like somewhere between 5 and 10 years apart in age. So that seems kind of weird. That was like the biggest acting problem for me, and it had nothing to do with their acting. And I know a lot of people don't like Kevin. How did you feel about Kevin Hart? Like he was supposed to be serious. Did you feel like he was serious enough to play a soldier type character, or do you think he kind of bombed?
Well, I know Kevin Hart can play serious characters because I've seen him actually do movies where he was serious, and like I giving him a chance because I know he hasn't done anything of this type before. I thought he did the best was what he was given, but as you said to me, just said to me before, if it was somebody else, they would obviously did better. But I think he still did good.
That's exactly what I said. I think Kevin Hart did the best with
Well,
what he had. And you talking about you seen Kevin Hart in other serious movies. You're talking about like the one where he's like a dad of two kids or whatever, right? That's the one that I can't think of it. It's based on a true story. It's based off of a book, and he's the father of these two kids, and he loses his wife or something like that. You talking about that movie, or is there other movies that Kevin Hart is in that are more serious roles?
there was one where he was a caregiver. but I forgot what it was called. That one was also based off a true story.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That movie kind of teeters on comedy, but it is more serious. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like it was serious, but not in the level of serious of what it needed for the movie, like
Yeah.
for the Borderlands movie.
Well, so if I'm not mistaken, that movie it's Kevin Hart and what's the guy that plays Walter White? That's who it is. Kevin Hart and what is his name?
Oh,
I'm just gonna literally Google Kevin. It's called The Upside. Okay, so let's look up The Upside to see when it came out. All right, so the Upside came out in
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan
That is
Cranston.
the
Yep,
movie. Bryan
Bryan
Cranston.
Cranston. So okay, this came out in 2017. So the filming for it probably took place in like 2015 ish. The Borderlands movie started filming that the same amount of time. Well, I disconnected from I DC'd from the voice. There we go. I'm back. All right, so the Upside started recording this or started filming the same time that the Borderlands movie would have started, or well, it would have started being written. So maybe by the time the Blind Side came out, he would have been acting in it. But Kevin Hart like trained with Navy SEALs and stuff because he wanted to be a serious character and prove that he could be a serious character. And this was supposed to be one of the first movies he was going to be in where he plays a serious role. But the movie went through like such hell in, I guess, bling blong, in such like development issues and reshoots and everything. And you can tell that that movie had reshoots because, like, did you notice watching it that it was like none of it was edited? It was all, or none of it was like one scene. It was all chopped up scenes. It's like every 5 seconds you were
Yeah,
at a different angle. Yeah, it was bad to me. I think that's the one of the worst things about the movie is the editing. The editing was horrendous because it was just so all over the place, and that comes from reshoots. So like I can't blame the editors. I blame whoever like had the original direction of the story. That's on them. Um, you have the CGI was rough. The costumes were pretty bad. I've seen cosplays have better costumes than that. Now, not all of them were bad. Some of the weapons were really nice. Um, and like I said, I don't think any of the actors did bad. I think Kevin Hart did the best with what he had, and I would be fine if Kevin Hart wanted to come back for a Borderlands 2 movie, because I do think that they're gonna try to make a second one. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I think they would try to make another one and try and repair the disaster that they created with that movie. And I think the second one will be better if they make it. I'm fine with Kevin Hart coming back. I don't want them to just look at the flop and be like, okay, well, we're gonna make another Borderlands movie, but we're gonna just do a completely new cast with different characters or recast because people didn't like Kevin Hart because he was short and blah blah blah. I will say this now. I am fine with Kevin Hart coming back. Fine with Jack Black coming back. Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina. I know she'll be older, but I think that's fine. I think Jamie Lee Curtis was fine. I think Kate Blanchett was okay as well. I don't think any recast is necessarily needed. If they were to do a second one, I think the cast was fine. I think they need new writers and producers and directors.
yes, that is exactly what they need.
And their the writing for it was so bad and all over the place because in the main games, Tiny Tina is not a clone. And I don't know if you picked it up from watching the movie because it didn't really explain it. But whenever they tell you that she's a clone from Iridian blood that was found on a vault key, she's clearly human. So she's not Iridian, which is a form of alien that they don't even show in the movie. But they're like ancient civilization of people of not people but of aliens. Supposed to be a clone of one of them, yet she's human. She's actually a clone of Lilith's mother who died in the movie,
Hmm.
and it doesn't really explain that. So I don't know if you got that, but that's some weird choice that they decided to do. That is not canon in the games. And literally, I remember a few years ago, they were like, whenever the Borderlands movie comes out, I think Randy Pitchford said this. When the movie comes out, remember that this is non-canon to the video game world. And I immediately thought, that's how we're deviating so far from the core story that we have to put that asterisk on the movie. Like, that's how you know it's going to be bad, because no movie adaptation that diverts that heavy from the story to where you have to come out and just say that has ever been good. Like, it's fine if you want to take some creative liberties and change a few things here and there, but like, it is so far away from the original story. It's insane. And if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember if it was one of the producers, one of the guys that worked on it said that he didn't know if Kevin Hart was the right choice, and but Kevin Hart like really pushed to want to be Roland, so he was like okay with it, but he really didn't want him to be originally. And then he said in the end of the interview that Kevin Hart did a good job, which I agree with. Actually had a release of a movie earlier this year as well. He was part of the crew that made Madam Web.
The producer?
I,
Nah,
I I think he was one of the producers. Yeah, he was part of the production for Madam Web. And one of the things which I think I'll pull up now since we're talking about Borderlands. I'm gonna give it a 3. Unless you want to try and convince me that it's better than I think it is, because for me the story was just horrendous. Like nothing in that movie was canon to the video games except for uh, Roland used to be Bling Blong. Uh, Roland used to be a Crimson Lance. Krieg is a psycho. Krieg was great, by the way. Krieg is a 10 out of 10. Like, I mean, they didn't touch his backstory, which is unfortunate, but like literally just the psycho that is Krieg is what they portrayed in the movie, and I think they did a really good job at that. But Tiny Teen is a child, and Lilith is a siren, which you don't even find out until the end of the movie when she gets her powers, which was like supposed to be some twist. I don't know if it was a twist for you, but for me it was like, wow, saw that coming a million miles away. Feel free to convince me. If you don't want to,
all
well,
I'll say is
go for it.
I won't convince you because that movie, it was just like a fan made movie, honestly. That's what it just felt like. A fan made movie with a budget.
See, here's the thing. I think a fan-made movie would be better. Honestly, I watched that and literally thought to myself, I think I could make something better than this. I have no directing or acting or anything. I think I could direct and write a better story than that.
Honestly, you're right because they would have more passion for the actual story.
Well, the thing is a lot of the
They would
advisors.
actually try to get it right.
Well, no, a lot of the advisors, producers, and writers for this movie were people that worked on the game. Like, seriously, a lot of the people that are in those credits are employees at Gearbox, which makes Borderlands.
What?
Yeah, it's bad. It like normally whenever a bad movie adaptation comes out like this, like Halo, whenever they were like, "Oh, we never really played the games. Oh, we don't really read the books." And it's like, "Yeah, we can tell cuz it's hot garbage." It wasn't even that. They just decided to go so far off. And here I'll actually pull it up for so we're going to segue cuz we're talking about the movie. We're going to segue into good old Randy Pitchford blocking me on Twitter. And this really isn't about him blocking me. It's about everyone that he blocked, because he blocked a lot of people. So I'm blocked on Twitter by Randy Pitchford. He refuses to unblock me, despite one of my viewers trying to reach out to him several times and tell him to unblock me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, oh, I guess I should have used your username. I doxed you a little bit. People know your first name now. Um, but I'm gonna put it on screen now. The throwing under the bus of the cast and crew for this movie. So I'll read you the tweet because I know you can't see my screen. Um, let's see. Can I full screen this? Make it a little bit bigger? I can. Okay. So you know who Gathalion is, right? King Gathalion, the streamer.
No.
No? Okay. Well, he's like he blew up from Borderlands whenever I think he made stuff for Machinima back in the day, but really big Borderlands guy. That's where he got to start. He is one of my favorite streamers to watch, and he doesn't really give a shit. He definitely doesn't pander to companies that he wants to work with. So that's why I want to talk about what he wrote and then what Randy responded. So he tweeted at Randy There's folks giving legit tempered criticism of the Borderlands movie, and they've received blocks. Long-term dedicated Borderlands players, like not even, I think an apology and reversal would be justified from you here. And then he goes on and says, like, I love Borderlands and its community. Please do not let this experience and your reaction to folks not liking it sour any future perception of the IP. And he responds. He actually responded to to this tweet 2 different times, but I want to read this one because we're talking about the people that worked on the movie. And it said, Randy responded, I'm as cool as a cucumber. I'm actually pretty fucking flattered that people are essentially saying that my team and I are doing a better job building characters and telling stories and making entertainment. So he's talking about in the movie, than this unfucking believable cast and crew of some of the biggest and best filmmakers on the planet. I'm super happy to live in that world. So to you, what does that sound like he just said? Because it sounds like something to me. I just want to know what you think about what he just said. What's your take on
Sounds
that?
like to me that I'm trying to figure out how to word
All right, I'm gonna give my 2 cents. You go ahead and work on how you're gonna word it. Don't change what you're gonna say based on what I'm saying. Um, but to me, that says I'm really happy that my movie did bad, and people are saying that we make good video games and that we make better video games than the crew members in Hollywood. Almost like he's saying that it's their fault that the movie is the way that it is and not his. Kind of like he's just kind of sliding blame over to them for the movie not being well received, when clearly it's not just their fault. In fact, I would say it's not their fault at all, because probably most of the producers, directors, and writers that they had that were not Gearbox employees know nothing about the universe and have no ability to like properly determine what would make good story or what would work out best for the Borderlands viewer to enjoy. Whereas he knows exactly what the Borderlands community would want or expected from that, and he's just happy that he didn't do it, they did it. It sounds like he took the team that made that movie in Hollywood and just threw them under the bus for why the movie was bad.
it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. I just couldn't word it in my mind. He's just trying to place the blame on other people to ignore his own failures.
I honestly could not imagine being one of the people that worked on that movie and then reading that tweet where the guy that is the maker of the game that gave direction on it was just like, "Yeah, we make such better stories in that movie," but he also tweeted that he loved the movie. Like I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me.
None of that makes sense. You talk trash about the movie, but then you also love the movie. Pick
Yeah,
a side.
yeah, and then hang on. So like he throws the crew under the bus. Let me pull it back up. All right. So he throws them under the bus. Here we go. So he says, let's see if I can get it full screen here. Whoops. Let me get some of this background junk out. Okay. So he reads his first tweet. I can't read the whole thing because I don't have the whole thing screenshotted, and I can't see it because he has me blocked on Twitter. I'm so pumped to watch the Borderlands movie with friends and family and friends tonight at our premiere event in Dallas. What is this insane, crazy world? How did this cast and crew of an incredible film dot dot dot, and then it's whatever else he says that I can't see. He retweeted it after he watched the movie, and he goes, "Oh wow, that was so fun. The vibe in the room with real people taking the movie as it came and having fun was just awesome. I'm on cloud nine right now. It's fun to feel people having a good time." So he calls the cast and crew incredible. He in the other tweet called them unfucking believable, but he throws them under the bus for the movie being bad. So it seemed to me like what he was doing, and you agreed. That's the tweet that I responded to with the Rotten Tomatoes review, which is a audience score of 48 and a Rotten Tomato was it tomato meter of 6%. And so not only do the critics think it's bad, an audience score of 50, some of those people, probably have legit criticisms, and other ones are probably people that just love any movie, if I'm being honest. And then on top of that, the movie did a little under 9 million for the weekend. I think that's domestically. and the movie costed somewhere upwards of like 110 to 115 million dollars, and it made about 9 million in a weekend.
Thought Marvel was going to be the worst movie that's come out in a long time. That beat it.
I so I looked at Rotten Tomatoes top 100 worst movies. It's not going to make it in their top 100 according to score, but this is one of the biggest. This is the biggest box office flop in 2024. Like currently it's on track to be the worst, being worse than Madam Web, which we know did bad.
Yeah, I gotta say nothing about that.
Yeah, it that
That
it
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's bad. And to make it even worse, okay, so that's the tweet that Randy blocked me for. This is the other tweet that I posted. It's just saying, honestly, I'm not surprised, and it shows the review where it has 10 to Rotten Tomato critics reviews, and it's still at 0%, which some people are saying is a bug. Apparently, all movies on Rotten Tomatoes start off as a 0 until they get updated, but it says that there are 10 reviews, and it's at 0. So I'm not really sure, but I think it broke 10% by now. But yeah, those are the only two nasty things I tweeted at little Randy. And he goes on to say, yesterday I blocked a bunch of truly nasty accounts, but in the process I accidentally blocked at least 3 good accounts, including at least one person I like and have actually met in person. I'm so sorry, sincerely, if I mistakenly blocked you, no excuses. Let me know if I screwed up so I can fix it. Thanks. I usually don't block criticism. I've always profited from it, and I've been in short supply. I've never been in short supply. Cheers and be cool. And the thing that gets me about that is, for one, nasty accounts. I don't think me posting Rotten Tomatoes score is nasty. I don't know about you. Maybe you disagree. Let me know. But he says here, blocking at least 3 good accounts, including one person I like and met in person. So he blocked 2 people he actually met in person. He blocked Epic NNG and Killer 6. And I assume the person he means he likes is Killer 6 because he told Killer 6 in his tweet, he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I blocked you. You have my email. Why didn't you tell me I blocked you?" So I assume it's that guy. That's why he says he likes. If I was Epic NNG, I would be taking like some serious. I would be hurt by the fact that he said one person, at least one person I like. And whenever he says he has 3 good accounts, he had already unblocked the 3 people that he was talking about. So if I was either of the other 2, I'd be incredibly offended.
Yeah. Like honestly, I'll be honest with you. The more you talk with this guy, the more this guy just comes off as a shit person. Just I just don't see anything to like about this dude.
I've never really particularly liked Randy. I've been okay with Randy in the past. Randy's blocked me once before, and that's because somehow Randy saw my tweet about Borderlands 3. I don't fucking know how. I don't know who shared it. I don't know if someone shared my video about it, but I got blocked like a day or two after that got posted. And I'm like a nobody at this time on YouTube. Like when Borderlands 3 came out, I had like 80 subs maybe. I had maybe 60, 50, somewhere like that. Like I did not make content. I did reviews on games that I liked or hated, or just games that I played, whether I liked or hated it. I would, talk about them. And Randy blocked me, and then he unblocked me some point later. Not really sure when. He unblocked me. Honestly, I wasn't even blocked that long, I don't think. But I don't know why he unblocked me. I don't know like what happened. I know Randy supposedly went on an unblocking spree at some point. He unblocked like some people that have been some people that are kind of nasty. Honestly, I don't know why he unblocked them, but he unblocked like a lot of people, and I was one of them. I don't know how. So this is not my first time dealing with Randy just blocking people or blocking me for seemingly nothing. But it I I don't think Randy should be the CEO anymore cuz like he is the face of the company. He you know, some people say that he spent all the profits from Borderlands 2 and 3 on this movie because this movie was announced like 2014, 2015. Borderlands 2 came out in like the end of 2012. So people are saying that like he spent all the money on those games on this movie for it to flop, and he shouldn't be CEO if he's making bad financial choices like that. For one, when you call people nasty as a CEO, you have branded those people, and like we know who you're talking about in the community. I know, Miguel, I know you're not like in the Borderlands community, but like we know some of the people that he's talking about. I know some of the people he's talking about. Some of the really big critics of Gearbox and Randy, and I'm not going to say I necessarily agree with everything they said or they say, but they do have some good points, I think. And I don't see a world where he should continue to be the CEO, honestly, with bad choices like that. And then there's already been like there you can look up Dave Edding. So if you just Google search Dave Edding, Randy Pitchford. Yep, Dave Edding, voice actor of Claptrap, details his side of Randy Pitchford drama includes accusations of assault. But we've had that allegation. We've had the him taking like a $12 million bonus. You know, there was the allegations about him being a pedophile. Those were thrown out, and he went on a podcast and talked about it. It's clear the stuff was dropped. He is innocent until proven guilty. He was not proven guilty, therefore he is innocent. It's as cut and dry as that. So like he's not. To me, it's still creepy, but he is not like a weird person that's into children. I want to wrap up the Randy Pitchford stuff. I'll read this tweet. Do you know who Paul Tassi is? Are you familiar with Paul Tassi and Forbes? He covers like Destiny, Diablo. He covers basically just like looter shooters. Not that he doesn't cover other games, but those are like the big ones that he covers. Is like Diablo. I think he covers the First Descendant a little bit, and then of course Destiny, and previously Borderlands in the past.
Also, I haven't heard of him before.
Okay, well, uh, so Randy blocked Paul Tassi, and I have the post on screen where he talks about he blocks Paul Tassi, where he talks about this is a thread of where he talks about he blocked people that he liked. He says, "Oh, except for that Paul Tassi guy," and then goes into why he doesn't like Paul Tassi, thinks that Paul Tassi is just being a dick, and Paul Tassi is trying to destroy the brand of Borderlands and attack him and come for something that he loves. So that's why he blocked him. And then he goes into how he thinks he may have misinterpreted it and blah blah blah, and then not only talks about it but tags Paul Tassi, almost like he wants his followers to attack Paul Tassi for giving the movie a bad review. And yeah, it's really weird. Paul Tassi just released a normal article where he didn't go crazy into it. He gets attacked by Randy, and then Paul's like, I don't understand why you hate me so much. And even Gothalion, who again, big streamer, used to work on the stream team for Gearbox, said things like, Randy, he's just a guy that loves games. It just seemed like a weird battle to pick. Like, why would you be mad at a game reviewer and call them a dick for, or just a reviewer, and call them a dick for disliking your movie or game? Like, that's literally his job, is to report on stuff and to give his opinion. Like, that's what his job is at Forbes, is opinion pieces on video games and movies, I guess, adjacent.
It's not his fault that your game underperformed. He can't help that.
Yeah,
Or
and
your
it,
movie game, whatever, underperformed. He can't
yeah,
help
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. And then he like tweets again. I don't have the image because he has me blocked, and nobody has retweeted the picture, so I haven't seen it. Which means I don't have access to it. But basically, it was like, oh, I'm gonna retweet a picture of Paul Tassi's book, Hero Killer 2, and then he's like, should I read this and bridge the gap between me and Randy, or me and Paul, and just going on? And Paul was like, what are you? Yeah, sure, you can read my book if you want, but like that's not gonna solve the problem here. And then Paul continued with, also, if you're gonna read my book, you should probably start with the first one. continuously almost seeming to do damage control but doing a very bad job at it. Like even in his damage control, he mentioned like he hinted at a Borderlands 4, which we think was supposed to preview early this year, but because the trailer for this movie was so poorly received, they think that they canceled their thing at PAX with their Gearbox showcase. And he even hinted at a Borderlands 4 in a tweet. No one's talking about that because he's gone insane. People are more upset at how he's acting than caring about a Borderlands 4, which directly hurts the brand of both Borderlands and Gearbox.
I'm not even surprised with how he's acting completely. I don't know what's going on, but these CEOs of these gaming companies, they're all just dragging these gaming companies downhill like Blizzard. I, I don't know what Blizzard's got going on, but they're just throwing their games in the gutter. Now Gearbox is throwing their games in the gutter. It's like you need to get people out who don't obviously don't care about games and bring the people who do care. But it's not going to happen because it's all about the money.
Exactly. It's all about the money. Randy Pitchford was in charge of Gearbox at the time whenever they were supposed to port Bungie's game Halo Combat Evolved from the Xbox to PC, and they completely butchered the PC release. Which brings me to our next topic, talking about uh, Halo, of course, Bungie layoffs. You're talking about poor CEOs with money management. Pete Parsons clearly did not allocate money properly. In fact, they had 5 games in development at one time, while they just were getting an income from one game, which was Destiny. They had Project Gummy Bears, they had Concord, they had Project Payback and all the different adaptations of that, Marathon, and like other games like Matter and stuff that kind of died off pretty quick, while also trying to make Destiny. So they had 6 projects kind of going on at one time, and Concord became its own company under Sony. You guys are about to get that on PlayStation in like 2 weeks, a week. You get it on the
Right.
23rd. Did you play the beta of Concord?
Uh, I, I just think the playing is not good though.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Um, I've followed a couple devs that used to work at Bungie that went to work on Concord, and it's very concerning that they are making a PvP shooter, PvP hero shooter, similar to that of Overwatch. It's going to be PlayStation and PC only, which already like games that are hero shooters need to be cross-play and on all platforms. And whenever you only take it to one console, that player base is likely to die very quickly. And like
Mm,
Overwatch, I think Overwatch would be dead if it wasn't for crossplay. Like I think if you just had one part of the community versus and then the other part, I think people would literally be playing the same people over and over again in high ranked comp, which I know they're already doing, but it would be like an even smaller amount of people if it was just one console. So I think Concord being on one console is a bad idea. I don't know if it can crossplay with PC, like can you matchmake and find people on PC while on PlayStation? I don't know if you can. I know you can team up with people on PC, but I don't know if you can play and just matchmake them naturally.
you have to no, you gotta have somebody already. You gotta already have somebody on your team that's on PC.
Yeah,
Like
see
you
that
gotta like
that's not good.
join one of your PC friends and do it like that.
That's not good. That's not good at all. And
Because it must play between consoles, but not that.
yeah, and the game's not even coming out on Xbox, which I understand it's like a Sony exclusive game, but PvP games, like if you do not properly balance that real quick, people leave and people aren't coming back. Especially if the game's not rewarding or whatever. I don't know what the reward system's going to look like in a game like this. But it doesn't look good. The game's going to be $40. It's not even it's not even a free game like Overwatch is. I mean, even Destiny's free. You can play the PvP for free. You can play Predecessor for free. That's the top-down MOBA because we were talking about Deadlock. But like there are tons of games. Paladins, There are tons of games that you can play for
Just
free.
once Valorant's free.
Yeah, Valorant just got a full release. I'm working on my video for that right now. I had a beta code, and I'm not posting my video about it until after it's full release, which is showing you how busy I've been. But yeah, like there's tons of games that you can play that are free hero shooters. Why would you pay $40 for arguably what looks like one of the worst hero shooters to release in a while?
Yeah. Gonna say like the same thing you're saying, two material shooters. Like I personally don't think just because one genre of game is doing well, like we'll say is hero shooters, you don't have to make your game a hero shooter. You don't have to match what is working. Because that's not always gonna work.
Same case as Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad started development in like 2015, 2017, like the peak of live service games, when live service games were all the hype, and you had Anthem and Destiny 2 and just tons of games that were live service, and people were like, oh, these are like the cash cows of the gaming industry. We're looking forward to them. Anthem flopped because they weren't ready to make that kind of game. They didn't have the commitment. Like these games can be cash cows, but you have got to put content in these games. They are live service. We need constant updates all the time. And like Destiny struggles to keep up. We like what we're talking about right now. Bungie is struggling. They've lost 45% of their company in the past like 6 7 months. 45% of the company. I'll have to pull up the screenshots, but I have pictures of how many employees they had, you know, a couple years ago, and looking at it now, it is not good, not good at all. And when you have these companies, I mean, I don't understand how they keep the same management people. I know everyone's pointing at Pete Parsons, but like everyone in the upper management should be worried for their job, how bad they've done with Bungie. You know what I'm saying? Like the game just didn't flop overnight. It was poor decisions, time and time after again, all the way from 2020 to now. I'll let you talk about it for a second while I pull up these pictures, but like it's bad.
Like I don't know what there is to say because like I obviously I don't really play Destiny and stuff like that. Most of the Bungie games I haven't really played like that, but I've seen what's been going on. And it's just never been good.
Uh,
Just honestly, I've just kind of just put them in the back of my mind.
yeah, well, I meant like we were talking about the hero shooter and then live service, kind of the point of like Suicide Squad did bad because they were making a live service game right at the peak of when live services were like really popular, and by the time Anthem had died, they were already like 2 years into the build for Suicide Squad. They couldn't cancel development on the game. They had already gotten so much work done. They had to release that product, or else Warner Brothers was just probably going to just close the studio of Rocksteady altogether because of how bad the I mean the game performed poorly, and I'm surprised they didn't close them down then because Warner Brothers is known for just killing stuff that doesn't need to be killed, and then not killing stuff that needs to be killed, which is bizarre to me. Um, but they made a game that was based on a trend years and years before. Because Suicide Squad came out what 2023, right? Or was it this year? Wait, was it this? Did Suicide Squad come out this year?
No, it came out last year.
I don't think it did. I think it came out February of this year, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, I gotta look this up. Suicide Squad game. Yeah, it came out this year,
Yeah,
dog.
it did come out this year.
Oh my lord. Uh, but I don't know what the Steam players are. Yeah, yeah, it's not the point. But it's released several years after the excitement behind these games, and the same thing with Concord. Like Concord's releasing now. Hero shooters aren't exciting anymore. They were exciting when Overwatch was like the king, and then you got Paladins, which was like pretty good counter to it, but like those are probably the biggest two. Predecessor's different because it's more like a MOBA, but it's just like not a top-down MOBA. It's like a third. I can't remember if Predecessor's third or first person. Like I said, I haven't played it yet. I just saw that it came out recently. And then you have Valorant, which is a hero shooter, but it's a twist on like the tactical shooters like CS:GO, which there was nothing challenging CS:GO in that genre until Valorant came out, which is what made Bling Blong, which is what made them update Counter Strike to Source 2 and make CS2.
I'll also say that of games that are releasing soon, Marvel Rivals is it's a hero shooter, but it's the only one I've seen lately that's actually doing it, but doing it right.
Yes, that is a very good point. And I think it's crazy that we live in a world where Concord and Marvel Rivals exist at the same time, and I couldn't care less for Concord. And that might have something to do with the fact that it's PlayStation, but you also don't care about it as a PlayStation person. And I'm looking forward to, and it sounds like you are too, to Marvel Rivals, which looks insane. Did you get to play it? Did you try and get a beta key? I did. I didn't get one. Did you play it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I got a beta kit. I had a great time.
Man, I tried really hard to get a beta key, but the shit website kept crashing every time at refresh to enter those keys. It just wasn't loading, which is really unfortunate. But like it looks fun, and I think that has more to do with the fact that it exists in an IP we already like. Concord's a brand new IP that I don't think anyone's particularly excited about, but Marvel Rivals is the Marvel IP. Like it's Marvel characters that we love in a hero shooter. Like yeah, there's some hero shooter fatigue. I'll go with that. And I don't think that Marvel Rivals is going to be my main game, but right now with Overwatch is trying to go back to 6v6. Overwatch is just I mean, you can probably speak to it more than I can as an Overwatch main. Um, I don't enjoy Overwatch anymore, and I just don't play Paladins because no one plays it. I've been playing a lot more Valorant just because I like tactical shooters. But as far as a hero shooter goes, there's like nothing good to play other than Overwatch, and I just don't like where Overwatch is right now. And I think Marvel Rivals will kind of reinvigorate that. And I think that's just because of the IP that it is. Like it's characters that you already know and love. I think Concord would honestly be better if it was like Destiny the hero shooter or Halo, like some kind of Bungie IP that's already been made as a hero shooter. Like, I think I know you don't play Destiny, so to you it wouldn't be exciting, but to like there would be an audience for this to play like Saint 14 or to play Lord Shax. I'm sorry, Lord Saladin or Shax or Ikora Ray or whoever from the Destiny universe in a hero shooter. That would be more exciting than these brand new characters that honestly I don't give a fuck about. Why do you think Marvel's Rivals is
No,
like so good? Like why do you think that has more hype around it than Concord? And I know some of it probably has to do with the fact that Marvel Rivals is more polished than Concord is, but like we know Marvel Rivals is made in partner with NetEase, which is like super shady company that we don't like. So I'm curious to know why you're more excited for it than you are Concord. So go ahead and take it away.
well, first, it's it's a Marvel game. It's connected to Marvel, so that already increases the hype for the game. But at the same time, that wouldn't mean anything if the game wasn't good. Like the gameplay for the game is actually decent. It's not bad. Like with Overwatch, I don't like it to be just an easy, just like an easy play game where I can just run around and just kill everybody easily. I want to actually, struggle to play it. I want characters to actually be hard and stuff like that. And the difficulty of the characters is actually pretty good.
So you're saying you like Marvel Rivals because there's actually some challenge to it. There's some competitiveness. It's not just it.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand what you're saying. Like Concord is kind of like a copy paste. It feels like a copy paste hero shooter, whereas Marvel Rivals it feels very different. Like just watching it, I didn't get to play it, so I can't say for sure about the feel, but it looks very different.
Yeah, because also some ways how they do the abilities are I ain't never seen like that before.
I enjoyed watching people play in Venom. Venom is insane. That's the character I'm looking forward to playing because I love tanks. I love Terminus and Paladins. I love Reinhardt in Overwatch. So I'm looking forward to Venom. Venom seems like he'd be more my playstyle.
I did play Venom and he was actually really good.
I mean,
I'm like, if you do it right, you cannot kill Venom.
oh yeah, no, 1,000%. That shield thing, like to me, it's crazy because like you can use your movement to get into combat, just shit on people, and when you're about to die, pop your shield, and as long as you didn't like get absolutely shit on by an entire team, you can probably, I could be wrong, but you can probably pop your shield and have the cooldown for your movement and get out. And I love tanks that have movement, have self healing. The shields aren't self healing, but it's like good enough. Movement, self healing, and like decent damage. The only thing that would make him better is if he had more range, but he has some solid range to be more of like a melee based character.
Yeah. And the thing about the tanks in that game is almost all of them have like movement abilities.
So, quick little disclaimer. We continue to talk about Marvel Rivals for a good bit, and then we also jump back to the Destiny topic of the layoffs and everything, and how we hope nothing bad happens to Bungie and Marathon's successful. But I had to cut all that out because unfortunately I bumped my mic slightly closer to my face, and you were able to hear me breathing, and you couldn't hear that on Discord, and it never showed me that that was being picked up on Discord, so I was never aware of it, for the same reason that I wasn't aware of the random background noise, because Discord never let me know, but somehow my PC picked up all this noise that Discord didn't. So with that being said, let's continue the video. It's going to be a weird jump, I know. I apologize for that. It'll be fixed next time. Deadpool, Wolverine, give us your take on it. Everything. Go.
First, I enjoyed the movie greatly. This is a good time watching the movie. Okay. But my favorite part is cameos. Nothing I don't like the story, all that crap, just the cameos. That was the best treat of all. Just seeing Wesley Snipes as Blade again, my little boy heart just oh.
So,
But my most favorite part though was seeing that Channing Tatum finally got to be Gambit.
uh, so you like the cameos? You like the? Did you like the story? Did you like the villain?
I think she did great.
Okay. Did you like
Knowing who she was playing, I think she did great.
did you like did you like the story that they gave the new version of Wolverine? Did you like them bringing back Hugh Jackman? How did you feel about them showing off Henry Cavill? And uh, do you think Cavill will return as Wolverine in the future as like the Marvel's Wolverine, or do you think that they will just pull Hugh Jackman anytime they want Wolverine?
I will say this. I truly believe that no one could play Wolverine as good as Hugh Jackman could. One. Two, I think Henry Cavill is an amazing actor, but I don't want him to be Wolverine at all. I just don't think specifically that role, I don't think that should be him. I think he could play a different X-Men, but not Wolverine. And like I would like to see Hugh Jackman still play Wolverine, but at the same time, I would like to see somebody else try to take on that role. But obviously, I'm gonna be judging it.
Okay, so you like Hugh Jackman. You want to see him back for more, but you don't want to see Cavill as it, but you would be okay with someone else taking the mantle. If I had to fan cast him, I would probably pick Henry Cavill because I know he's a great actor. He's just been in some rough movies because we saw him in The Witcher. He's great. He does a phenomenal job. He cares about the story of the characters that he plays. And I think the reason that he was so adamant on Geralt being built a certain way in The Witcher was because he played Superman, and he played like a honestly just a bad version of Superman. It's no fault of his, it's just the writing. And I think he probably saw that and was like, next time I play a character like this, I need to stand up for like the character and how it's being written, or else I'm not going to do it. Because like right now, the Warhammer 40k is in limbo because they can't agree on the story for it, and I 1,000% think whatever Cavill is going to make is better than whatever the executives want, because Cavill knows what the fans want as a fan. So like I trust him more with the franchise. So like I think he would do really good by Wolverine, but you don't want to see him. So who would you want to see?
Well, that's the thing. I don't really have nobody in mind, but it's like with Cavill, I it's not that I don't want to see him as Wolverine. It's that I want to see him bring somebody new. Because I think he just an actor with just limitless potential. If he just like just give him the right ground, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Like we
I
talked about
I get
earlier,
what you're saying.
he cares about the source material.
Yeah, yeah.
I want because like I think he could. I want to see him bring somebody new to the screen and just like
Knock it out of the park.
give them the love that they need. Because like yeah, everybody knows Wolverine, but because I know Marvel they're gonna be releasing a new X-Men movie later on. I hope that they're gonna not just do the same just cast of Wolverine, Storm, Cyclops, Beast. Like I need new people. I want them to expand it because there's too many good characters that aren't used. Like I'd rather him be somebody new than somebody old.
Okay.
But if he did become Wolverine, I wouldn't complain either.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. You're saying that you want Cavill to flex his acting chops as someone new to the MCU, not a new Marvel character, like someone from the comics that he would be better suited for, because they already have a Wolverine, and that's Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm fine with that. I so it. Go ahead and give your rating for the movie, and then I'll talk about what I think about it and what I'll rate it.
I give it 8.5. Like I would rate it higher, but I mean I know it's Deadpool's thing to like joke all the time, but it's like some of the jokes just so drawn out in the movie that it was losing me a little bit. But overall, it was still good to me.
Okay. See, I'm not far off. I'm gonna give it a 7, which I know like some people are like, oh my god, you gave it a 7, and it's like, yeah. And the only reason I'm giving it a 7 is because for one, I liked Logan. I recently watched Logan, so there's like a whole backstory to me in the X-Men series. I watched one when I was younger, and I hated it, so I just refused to watch it. And then I did the same thing for the Deadpool movies. I actually just watched them for the first time recently. Not that I don't like Deadpool. I really wanted to see it. In fact, I was going to go see it with my wife whenever we were dating, and then I was going to see it the second one with my dad. But both times just kind of didn't work out. And then when I had time, it was at a theaters. I just never got around to watching it. Well, they all got added to Disney Plus. I have Disney Plus. I watched them. I watched Logan. I was like, wow, those are really good movies. But the thing is I feel like them bringing back Hugh Jackman. I know it's not the same Logan, but it kind of ruins Logan for me. Honestly, I didn't like how it, because like Logan was the goodbye to. It wasn't a goodbye to Wolverine for me. It was a goodbye to Hugh Jackman, because they can recast Wolverine in a different
Yeah.
universe, and then they just brought him back. And Hugh Jackman, while he is a great actor, I love him in The Greatest Show or Greatest Showman. Um, that's like the second best musical I've ever seen. Big fan of Hamilton, but I, and he's a great Wolverine, other than his height. But I just don't. I didn't want to see him again. Was happy how they kind of ended it, and not that I wanted his character to die or anything, but like, I mean, of course I knew that that happened in Logan because I've heard about what happens in the movies prior to seeing it, but it felt like a good send off, and it kind of just felt like they spit on Hugh Jackman's image a little bit of him making Logan. And like clearly they don't think that they did because Hugh Jackman was okay with returning to do the movie. And so I think that's just me being nitpicky. So I didn't actually dock points on my review for that. I didn't like the villain. I not a problem with the actress. I think out of all the villains, I think the reason that they chose that villain is because it's more along the lines of being a Wolverine villain more than a Deadpool villain. But to me, I just didn't really like that particular story. I didn't like the. I wasn't a big fan of let's send you to where time ends, and then here's the big bad, and it's Professor X's sister who was kidnapped by the TVA as a child. Like that just felt weird to me.
But I feel like with her, I feel like I would prefer to see her in a movie where she fights Charles than fighting Deadpool and Wolverine. I feel like that is also a main thing. It's like the main person you have a grudge against, you never see in the movie.
That's one of the big things that I agree with. Is I think that would have been a better suited character to go against just the X-Men as a whole and Professor Xavier. And that's why I wanted to see a different villain. And the villain that I propose is one that we've already seen in the MCU, and that's Mysterio. And the reason that I wanted to see that is because. So I don't know if you're familiar with the storyline where Mysterio mind controls Wolverine into thinking the other X-Men are villains, and Wolverine proceeds to kill every single one of the X-Men. And it doesn't make any sense because Charles Xavier could just like mind control him and like make him stop. So it doesn't really make sense in terms of like the powers of the X-Men. They could definitely stop Wolverine because he is not the most powerful. But it is it would be interesting if the storyline. So I'll come back to Cassandra Nova in a second. But it would be interesting if the story was Wolverine in his world, because like his story is kind of weak. He goes out to a bar drinking, comes back, all the mutants have been killed by humans. He kills a bunch of humans and kills some innocents in the process. Don't get me wrong, that's horrible. Um, but like a story I think I would have been a lot more fond of is here's a story where Mysterio has mind controlled him and the entire X-Men force, okay? And what the story would be, because this would be like a better adaptation of that old story, would be they're all fighting each other. So it makes more sense why Wolverine would be the last one standing, because he is the most resilient, but he's not the most powerful. So everyone else would kind of kill each other. He would kill a few, and then whenever Mysterio's spell would lift from him, he just murdered, like to him, he would have murdered all of the X-Men. And Mysterio would get away. Now, Logan would be wanted for murder of, like, the entire facility of X-Men. And then, basically, he would just be in hiding for his entire life looking for Mysterio. And I think a great thing to do would be to make the story similar to that of Deadpool's, where he gets pulled in by the TVA, right, because his world's dying, because his Logan died. So this other Logan, his world would be about his anchor being dying as well. It would be a different X-Man, so probably Charles. That's probably one of the most well-known X-Men, other than probably Scott or Cyclops or Storm. You know, one of them would be the anchor being. And basically, I think a cool story would be they pull Mysterio from the world, and then they try to convince him to join the TVA, similar to how they do Deadpool, because of how powerful he is. He doesn't want to go with it. He gets sent to the Timeless area, and then Wolverine in his world is now searching for Mysterio after the entire X-Men have been murdered. And then while looking for them, he obviously doesn't find them. Deadpool finds Wolverine. They go to the TVA. Everything happens, and then the villain, instead of Cassandra Nova, would be Mysterio, who now And like for the reason you can use this character because didn't Jake Gyllenhaal play him already in the Spider-Man movie, but it was like a fake Mysterio, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I think a cool story would be like now we have the real one. You could recast him. It doesn't have to be Jake Gyllenhaal. It can be. It doesn't matter. Um, but I think a cooler story would be Wolverine getting his revenge on Mysterio for what he did in his other world, and it's the same one. And like it kind of comes full circle with everything. And like I don't know. To me, the biggest problem with me was Logan's backstory and the villain, and I feel like all that could be changed with the story I just. I'm not saying what I'm saying would necessarily be better, but on paper, it's canonically more accurate to a story of Wolverine, at least the backstory, so it would make a little bit more sense. And to me, I think I would find that more enjoyable than it just being Charles's sister, which to me doesn't have real implications on Wolverine. That's my biggest gripe with the movie. Was just I didn't like the character of the villain. Not that the actress was bad. I think the movie was great. I think I think the writing was pretty good otherwise, other than Logan's backstory. And I think the villain would have been fine as, that same similar story, just if it was Mysterio. And I enjoyed the cameos. Um I enjoyed Channing Tatum as Gambit. I don't know if I want to see that as a movie. But I would, honestly, you guys want to do Channing Tatum as Gambit and then do Henry Cavill as Wolverine in a one-off X-Men movie or TV show just to see how it's received. It doesn't have to be in the main MCU. It doesn't have to be canon in case you don't want it to be. Just to see how it would go, I think I'd be fine with that. But I did enjoy seeing Blade back and Wesley Snipes as Blade, and then Jennifer Gardner as Daredevil. And honestly, I think my favorite part of that whole movie is whenever she says that Daredevil is dead, and Deadpool's like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry," and she's like, "Oh, it's fine," and he's like, "Oh," because I believe she was Elektra in the Deadpool movie that was Ben Affleck, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no one likes Ben Affleck these days. So that was a very funny joke for me personally. I thought that was pretty good. And of course, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm was excellent. Um, I enjoyed the movie. It's a fun movie. It's a good movie. I'd watch it again probably. It's probably one of the better movies I've ever seen, which is weird that I give it a 7, but just not a big fan of that backstory, man. I don't feel like it was dark enough. I feel like killing all your friends is pretty good. I feel like it's a pretty good dark backstory. And I know why they didn't choose a story like that, and that's because it would cost too much to bring all those old X-Men back, or bring people in to play X-Men just to kill them. Because that'd be like a whole bunch of cats you have to bring in, and then the special effects for Cyclops and Storm and like this big fight. It'd be a great scene, but it would be really expensive. So I think I understand why they didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, mm, like they already, like I can already tell they couldn't get everybody because on the villain side, it was a bunch of the villains from previous X-Men movies, but none of them were the original uh, people who played them. Like I feel like they might have tried, but they just couldn't get them.
Yeah, they actually supposedly the person that originally played Storm, uh, Ryan Reynolds' wife, supposedly, I don't know how true this is. I haven't got any confirmation from any source really, but supposedly she saw Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, at the store or something, which is like a very random ass thing. And was like, "Hey, would you like to be in my husband's new Deadpool movie starring Wolverine?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'd love to come back." And then never got a call That's what I've been told. But that's like the most random ass story. Why would they like? What are the odds of seeing each other at a store while the movie's being filmed? And then why would you name drop Deadpool and Wolverine in a public place where someone could have heard that? Like I don't know. It seems like a weird story, but maybe.
Mm, um, like you said, it wouldn't make sense, but like at the same time, I wouldn't be too surprised if it actually happened.
Yeah. And I assume you saw the movie here in town. Um, I wasn't able, like, I watched it here in town. I actually got refunded because the audio was messed up. So like, it was like anytime there was like like a loud noise, it was like your mic peaked, and it was bad. It was really fucking loud. Um, I don't know if you had that problem when you saw it, because I know you saw it before I did.
No, the problem, me and my friend that went to go see it, we had to wait after the movie started. The movie didn't actually start until like 10, 15 minutes after the movie time was like the movie the original start time.
Wow.
We just sitting there staring at a black screen.
Did it start in the middle of the movie, or did it like start from where it was supposed to? Because I've had that before, and it started like it's like it was black, and then it just started 10 minutes into the movie.
No, it once it finally started up, it started playing on trailers and stuff. Then and that's when it started up.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it did the initial trailers and it tells you like silence your phone and stuff, and then it's black, then nothing popped up again. Then they finished doing the stuff talking about silence your phones and stuff. The lights went down, then the movie started up.
Okay. So you had an experience where the movie didn't start, and I had an experience where the movie probably shouldn't have started until they fixed whatever audio problem they had. But I didn't have to pay to see the movie. I mean, I did have to pay, but I got my money back, so I didn't have to pay to see the movie, which was nice. So I can take that money and go watch another movie. I'm not going to spend it on the Borderlands movie. I mean, one, because I've already seen it, but two, because it's shit. Um, but I guess if there's any other movies coming out here soon, I'll go see it. It's Alien, right? Alien comes out this week, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it comes out Friday.
Does it? Oh, that's exciting. I love the Alien franchise. I hate all the movies that aren't one and two. And then the video game Isolation is fantastic. I hated the game that Gearbox made. What was it? Colonial Marines or whatever? That was bad. But Isolation, the first two movies are great. I hope this movie's really good. I really, really hope it's good because I would love them to do more with this franchise. But I just want them to not touch Sigourney Weaver's character, Ripley. Like, just leave that alone. Just let her be dead. Let's explore other stuff because I think that's more entertaining.
I I'm not even like a horror dude, but like I'm excited for the movie. Like I genuinely want to go see it.
Yeah, I don't like scary movies either, but Alien is the exception. I don't like scary games either. Alien is the exception. It's such, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and like I know Quiet Place still have a game coming out in this month.
hmm
I'm gonna get it because I want to try it out.
I
I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad.
didn't the new movie for it just came out too, didn't it?
Quiet Place day
Day
one.
one. Yeah, it just came out. Was it this week? Last week?
I don't remember, but I know I had a coworker who went to go see it. He didn't like it,
Oh, really? I've heard it wasn't bad.
and I've heard people talking about they didn't really like that either.
Oh, really? Let's see. What are the reviews on it? It's got an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes. What's the What's the audience score though? That's what's important. Audience score is important. 73. So not fantastic, but not bad. Not bad. I watched the first one. I haven't watched the second one. But
Yeah, I watched the first one. I haven't watched the second one either.
yeah, I for some reason I didn't want to watch the second one because I knew it wouldn't have John Krasinski in it, so I wasn't really looking forward to watching it. Because we love John Krasinski around here. Um, but I did submit a form to get an early copy of the Quiet Place game. I doubt I'm going to hear anything back because I know it's going to be like a pretty big game, and typically they don't give that to smaller creators. So hopefully I get it. But another game that I submitted something for was Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2, and I don't know if you've been looking at that game. I've been looking at it a little bit, excited for it. And apparently a beta build, a dev build for the game got leaked, and apparently the dev build is really good. People are really enjoying it, so people are looking forward to the game coming out in like a week or two, maybe a couple days. So that looking forward to playing that. I don't know if you've looked into that at all. And that's pretty much it. Miguel doesn't have anything to plug. He's just along for the ride, as he said. And again, I'm cutting this short because the audio got really, really bad at the end there. So I apologize for the audio throughout this whole thing. It will be better next week. I really don't know what happened. I've looked at it. I've like triple checked. It looks like it'll be fine next week. I'm not exactly sure what even caused it, but when I did my testing this morning, which is the day after we recorded, it seems like it's perfectly fine. So look forward to the next one with no audio issues. And even whenever we get started that day, I'm going to go ahead and test that day in case anything changes in my settings or something messes up with some kind of update or something. So next episode, it will be better with the audio. And I did want to say, if you guys leave comments in the comment section and ask any kind of questions, whether it be stuff that we talked about in this video, or if you want to see us talk about stuff in the next video. So if next week something happens in between, when this was made, which was Tuesday, to when it was posted, if there's something that happened and you want to hear us talk about that topic, just let us know in the comments. We will bring it up in the next episode. We will read comments, stuff like that. So we will be discussing the comment section at the end of every video, kind of like Q&A kind of thing. And if you guys have questions, we'll of course answer them. Whether they are like personal questions or just opinions on certain things in the industry. And with that being said, the big reason that we're doing a podcast is because I'm trying to branch out from Destiny content and kind of dip my toes in a couple different things. And one of those just being a podcast, because we've wanted to do this for a little while. And with Destiny seeming like it possibly could slow down, I feel like there's never been a better chance for me to take this leap. With that being said, though, if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing and click the notification bell so you get notified when I make new videos, because I make tons of Destiny stuff and a podcast once a week. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be.